I just want to start the podcast. Right now we got Dregs One. He's a rapper,
Yes.
podcast host,
Yes.
graffiti artist,
Yes.
and just full-time creative now, I would say.
Correct.
Welcome to the pod, man. I appreciate you for sitting down, taking the time. I've been a fan of the History of the Bay podcast for the last 2 years when you started it, and I'm just like, this is great. The Bay Area needs more platforms like the one you have.
Appreciate you, Trevor. I'm a fan of yours as well. You've always been a great supporter, and I'm glad that we finally got to connect.
Man, I'm in your city now. I moved to your city.
How's it feel?
I love it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I love it, dude. A lot of people were telling me like, oh, watch out. You know, like I just feel like SF has gotten such a bad rap in the last couple years, and to be real, I don't really see the bad stuff yet.
Yeah, that's fake.
I think it's propaganda.
That's propaganda. It used to be worse. It used to be way worse back in the day growing up. It's better now. It's way less violent. It's just, the thing is that it's all due to income inequality. It's not affordable for people to live out here. And so you see the results of people on the streets who do drugs just like anybody else. It ain't just homeless people doing drugs. We all know people who do drugs.
Thanks.
So people can't afford to have their problems, their mental health issues. Everybody got mental health issues.
Yeah.
Now we're just seeing that being expressed on the street because these people have nowhere to go because the housing prices are insane.
And my thing too is like, it's 7 miles, right? The island of San Francisco or whatever. Like LA has problems just like San Francisco, but people don't really even talk about that. It's like if you go to Skid Row and do a video, I'm pretty sure people are going to be like, "Ooh, LA is scary." You know, it's like I wanted to get your thoughts on this, like people going to the Tenderloin and filming content to kind of like draw some sort of, you know, reaction out of people.
Yeah, the Tenderloin is a very special place, man. I mean, of course, you're going to see some shocking things. Like you said, it's a condensed area, 7 square miles. The Tenderloin is like 7 square blocks, I think, less. So all these issues are condensed. It's a containment zone. It's where you have the housing for drug recovery. Is where there's federal halfway houses. People get paroled to the Tenderloin. There's immigrant housing. There's veteran housing. There's age treatment. There's all these things condensed into an area, and that's basically the result of these policies over the years. So people going to like do videos there, they don't really focus that there's a whole community there. Like there's more children in that neighborhood per capita than any other neighborhood in San Francisco.
Wow.
There's it's Little Saigon is in the Tenderloin. Shout out to all my Vietnamese folks.
Yeah.
So they don't really tell that story. It's just the open air drugs. And the Tenderloin's been like that.
Because it's always been like that. From my understanding. Like it's just like, you know, just watch out when you go to the Tenderloin. But it's like,
and don't even really. Just watch out when you go anywhere, bro. Like if you know how to handle yourself and be respectful and just keep your head on a swivel, and anywhere you go, you'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? Like if you walk around looking scared or looking like you just got out of Bible study, maybe somebody might mess with you. But if you're just going about minding your business, you know, people got to live like any other, whether they're homeless, drug addicts, whatever the case may be. But I don't really go for that type of like horror show spectator. Like I don't like to turn human misery into a spectacle. You feel me?
No, I feel it. That's why I'm just like, I see the content coming out of the city, and I just feel like every other piece of content is some wild shit, whether it's the bipping, people getting robbed, like the homelessness. Like I just wanted to get your thoughts as like someone who grew up in the city. Like, how do you feel? Because if that were my city being represented like that, I would feel some type of way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just a little more concerned. I'm like, what is the political end for all this? What are they trying to gain by doing this? They're trying to accomplish something.
Clicks. They're trying to get views.
Yeah, but then even when you look at like Fox News or like the way it's being used by like politicians and stuff, I'm like, what is the end goal? Why are they feeding this narrative? You know what I mean? And like I said, it used to be worse, bro. It used to be worse. It used to be multiple open air drug markets all over the city, the crack era. I mean, that shit was real. Like, the violence, drive-bys, and people getting shot up, and that it was real, but it wasn't a news story. It was just like business as usual. You know what I mean? But I think they always swept that under the rug because there's so much tourism in San Francisco, and there's like the whole Rice-A-Roni cable car, Fisherman's Wharf type of image, and that makes so much income, the tourism, and like Full House, and people have that image of San Francisco. So they're looking at it like, oh my God, look what happened. But they're not looking at like the struggles that have been going on in some of these neighborhoods for decades. You know what I'm saying?
Not exactly. So let's just start in the beginning. So you're born and raised in San Francisco?
Correct.
What part?
I grew up in Lakeview.
Lakeview.
Mm-hmm.
And what was it like growing up?
It was dope, bruh. It was the dopest. Whew, it was one of the dopest places ever to grow up.
I could imagine. Like, it just like, and like, what was the time, if you don't mind? Like,
I was born in 87, so I was born in the late 80s. My parents is not from San Francisco. They're not from the Bay Area. I don't have any other brothers or sisters, so I was like on my own. I'm black and I'm white, so I'm like in my own. I'm in the middle of all these worlds all the time. It's like I go to in this direction, it's like the 200 block, Randolph Street. I go in that direction, it's like the Ingleside and Stonestown Mall. I'm always in between worlds. In the neighborhood, it was like one certain thing going on. I mean, it was a beautiful black community. And I just, grew up playing hoops at Bixby Park and riding my bike to the store, getting an hour later, stuff like that. But then, it was also it was the crack era, and there was a lot of I done seen everything there is to see stepping outside of my house. I done had crack smoke blowing in my face. I done seen dead bodies laid out. You know what I'm saying? And,
do you remember like one of your earliest memories of seeing some gnarly shit?
Nah, it's like as far back as it's the earliest memory. Like, damn, this place is kind of scary. Like, there's bars on all the windows, and like there's cops riding 4 deep, and there's some serious looking people walking around, and some crazy people, and winos getting hit by cars, and dudes sleeping in the trash can, and all that type of stuff. But then, like I said, my parents always they didn't want me insulated in that. Mm-hmm. So they sent me to school in the Sunset District, which is like 2 neighborhoods over. It's a little more diverse. But then I got to deal with that's like the Asian, I'm just seeing the Asian mafia. Like, oh shit, I'm seeing like little Asian gangs like coming and stabbing people. And like, so I seen all that, but they always like put me in programs. Like they tried to expose me. My moms would take me to Golden Gate Park, take me to the museum, stuff like that.
So your parents were in your life? Yeah,
for sure. Well, my pops was in my life, but he had a lot of issues. Like he was like essentially he was orphaned at 13, and he had like a lot of abuse in his that he had to overcome in his life.
Wow.
And but he was very big on education, because that's how he got himself out of his situation. But he didn't really know what it was like to function within a family. So he was there, but like we didn't spend that much time together. We didn't really get close until I was an adult. He had very strict expectations towards like education and things like that I just wasn't really ready to fulfill.
Like he was trying to make you become a lawyer type of thing? Or
I am a lawyer. I don't know if you knew that.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a lawyer. We could talk about that.
You should have said that in the intro. Goddamn, that's a big one that I missed.
I don't practice right now, but I did end up, it's a long story, man, but we could tell it. I did end up years after high school, went to college, got a degree, and then went to law school.
And was this because Pops was on your ass? Or
No. This was just like
stuff you wanted to do?
I was not a good student. I was a poor student starting in middle school, like the average type of student, just very rebellious, like there's conflict in the house, me and Pops not getting along. Outside is like fucking crazy.
War zone, damn near. Not a war zone.
I wouldn't say that. Some people would use that term, but
I didn't mean it like that. I don't really like that term because.
But it's not that accurate. I mean, it's not that inaccurate because it was a time where there was turf wars all throughout the city. But So like just to even go back to what I was saying earlier, I would go ride the bus, go to the Haight Street. See, this is the thing about Frisco is I kick it with everybody, bro. I'm kicking it with Samoans, Asians, Filipinos.
Super diverse.
Super diverse. So, but it's the city. So like even the white boys I was kicking with were crazy. It's like there's Irish gangs I could tell you about. You know what I'm saying? Like it was drug infested. Just to be, I'm not trying to like put no extras on it because I try to be mindful that this isn't the worst place in the world. But
beautiful city.
Beautiful city. And then so it's like I'm always dealing with this balance of like the culture, the hippies, the art, the diversity, and then at the same time it's like, you know, just weird, bizarre shit, bro.
How did you get put on to like graffiti and stuff like that, like being an only child? Like who was the influence to kind of have you want to create?
Well, I was always seeing the artwork in the subway tunnels, because that's the thing about Lakeview. The Ocean View, the train goes right in front of the house. So I hop on the train, go downtown, like I said, with moms. She'll take me somewhere, you know what I'm saying, little kid. And I'm looking outside the window, all the art, ill-ass art, bro. Like what is this? I was just always drawn to it. It's just like people like Twist, the characters, like it just looked like what I was seeing.
Yeah.
These weird, bizarre people, I'm seeing them on the wall, and then the letters is the 90s. It's all kind of like matching the time. So I was always drawn to it. And then like around middle school, I started understanding like what like taggers. Like shout out to my boy Milo. He like put me on, like he was like, this is what we do, like tagging on the buses. He was telling me about like different crews. Like because I was the only child, I had to learn for myself. Like, so I'm looking at these kids like, this is kind of sick. Like North Face, dudes hopping on a bus, getting busy. And then at the same time, it's like ill art. Like the way I grew up is like drawing was one of those things like if you could rap good, if you could play basketball good, if you could draw, it was appreciated skill. So I'm like, I'm just drawn to all that spray paint, all that shit. So at a certain point, like I broke my fingers I broke all 4 fingers at once, and I had a little cast, you know, people sign my cast. And so this dude was like, yeah, I'm hitting my tag. and I was like, oh, you could just have a tag. Because he wasn't really a tagger.
Yeah.
But he just knew how to do it. So I'm like, all right, I'm finna start tagging too. And
what was your name?
The very first name was Robo.
Robo.
Yeah.
And what was the influence behind that?
I was with my boy Robert, and we was on the train. I was about to like write something stupid like Robert sucks dick or something like that. And he slapped my hand and it just went Robo. And I was like, Robo.
Wow.
So that lasted like a week, and then it was like another name. I think I wrote Pause at one point, and then a couple other names.
How many names have you had throughout the years?
A lot, yeah. A lot.
So it's not like once you get a name, you're stuck with it. Like you kind of.
Well, that's kind of why Dregs is still the name, because that was the name I had for a while, and then that's when I really started actually kind of getting up. And not like I never ran the city. I was never like the illest graffiti writer, but I did it enough to where people knew. And then people just started calling me Dregs, like even people who didn't do graffiti. And then I got caught for writing that name, and I had to switch it, but people still kept calling me Dregs.
Yeah, I was gonna say like you're climbing on top of fucking billboards and hitting shit like that, or like
rooftops, breaking into places. Yeah.
Like the train yards, stuff like that.
Bus yards, yeah, the tunnels.
And was it very like turf warish when it came to the graffiti out here?
Yeah, hell yeah. A lot of writers were in that shit too. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of writers, they're like, it's just something that you did. It was like part of the culture. It's like a rite of passage. Everybody rides the bus. Not everybody, but a lot of people pick up a marker and this is my bus line. I'm riding on my bus line. And then I say, oh, he on this bus line too. And then the next thing you know, you just become part of this whole world. And some of the dudes I met were like hustlers. They were like hustle crews or like taggers, but they like sold quarter pounds and shit like that, which was big back then. Like, oh, he flipping a QP. Because this is when people were breaking down an eighth. Imagine busting down an eighth.
Nickel bags and shit.
Yeah. You busting down like 4 sacks. You know what I'm saying? 3.5. You feel me? Like bust that down into 4 sacks, get another eighth, sell that, then you get a quarter. So I'm kind of seeing how that shit works too. And then it's a 5-finger discount on everything. We gotta fund this lifestyle. We gotta go. The markers is expensive. You know what I'm saying? The stickers and all that shit. We ain't paying for that. We ain't paying for the paint. We breaking into construction sites and garages and you know what I'm saying. So it's like very easy to make that leap into like, all right, you're breaking the law. You know what I'm saying? Like if you get caught, you're gonna get in trouble, but you get away with it. So what else can I get away with? So it was like that kind of, not to say one necessarily has to do with the other, but it's like definitely like you just kind of start getting into the underworld.
So would you say like graffiti was the first creative like medium for you? Like, or were you making music? Were you you could say basketball or football or sports can be an outlet too.
No, I wasn't really that good in sports, bro, to keep it funky. I didn't like the whole like coaches. I didn't like coaches. I didn't feel like...
You didn't like people telling you what to do?
I didn't like them I'm not that. I like discipline. I like structure. I don't like the fact that it's like you want to win for your ego and I'm just the means to get there. I was always tall. You feel me? I was raw at football. I never had grades either. That was another thing. But music and graffiti came at like the same time. I'm very intelligent. I always like tested super high and all that. Like they would send me to therapy. Like, you're so smart. Why are you not doing your homework? And you know what I'm saying? I was just troubled. So graffiti was like the only thing that like I stuck with. Like this is it. You know what I'm saying?
So what, you just didn't give a fuck about school? You're just like, fuck it, or what?
I didn't care. I was too smart for my own good. I'm like,
bored.
man, this is bullshit. What the fuck, George Washington? What the fuck about George Washington? This is fake. You know what I'm saying? This is fake as fuck. You know, this ain't my history. What the fuck? I'm gonna just get a reward for being a robot? And the fuck, I want to do homework. I'm trying to watch cartoons and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So and then socially, I'm seeing like the popular kids. It's not like this ain't like, Connecticut prep school, high school. It's like motherfuckers on the debate team and the chess club. It was like the popular kids, in my mind, were like not academically. That wasn't why they were popular. And it's not healthy. You know what I'm saying? This is what we're learning though. Like you get respect for whooping somebody.
You get straight A's, you're a nerd. You
get straight A's, you're a nerd. You raise your hand too many times, you're a nerd. Your teacher's
trying too hard.
You go to class.
Crazy, isn't that fucked up?
You going to class? We about to go to the bleachers and smoke a twomp sack. Like, you're going to class? So I was just gravitating towards that because I didn't have enough confidence to be like, man, I'm going to do what I want to do. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like being an only child too, you're so impressionable. Like, you're kind of like, say maybe you had a big sister, big brother, they could kind of steer you in that right path, and you kind of like get a lot of gain from them. So I feel like that plays a big part in like a child's life growing up.
I didn't have that. I didn't. Like I said, my pops was like, he was a hardhead. He wasn't like sitting down like, son, what'd you do at school today? If I got in trouble, he would whoop my ass. You know what I'm saying? Like that's about it.
Was he the type of parent to like whoop your ass just because he had a bad day?
No, he was not abusive in that regard. He was just too intense and he didn't know how to relate. And he came from a very violent, like old school, I'll just say it's a thing in the black community of like, get the switch type of shit. Go get a switch, go to the yard, get a switch, come back, get a whooping. And so that's just how I was disciplined until it got to the point where he understood like, this is not productive. Like, this is also not working. And also like he's developing a temper and you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's like being the only child, I was definitely like just trying to figure everything out.
For sure. Did you have difficulties like finding groups because you were mixed?
To a degree, yeah. I mean, that was some, like, early, young on, you just don't understand it. And then you don't understand, people will make fun of you for anything, right? People will make fun of you for being half black. People make fun of you for being full black. People make fun of you for not being black. People make fun of you for being short, make fun of you for being tall. So when I'm being made fun of for being mixed, I don't understand, like, they just talking shit. I know who I am. You feel me? Being who I am makes me dope. But, like, yeah, also, too, like, phonetically, my features, right? I'm look kind of ambiguous to some people. So I was like, I
could see Mexican a little bit, Hispanic.
I've heard everything, bro. I've heard Samoan, Tongan. People have asked me if I'm Chinese before, which don't make no sense to me. But that made me realize people just see what they want to see.
Facts.
And people also have they have a one-dimensional view of who black people are. They don't understand like that we're actually very diverse people. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, being young, how the fuck am I going to articulate something like that?
For real.
I'm just trying to figure everything out. I'm living in a mostly black neighborhood, and yeah, I'm just trying to figure it out, man. I don't really fit in, and then now I'm old enough to realize like that's a good thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just me. I'm a very unique individual.
So did you graduate high school?
Oh yeah. I barely graduated. I kind of started getting my shit together like towards the end. Like right on time, right on time. Like, all right, I gotta do something. And also by then I had gone to this school that was like really like, it's just like, I had the bare minimum I passed. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so you stopped going to like a public high school type of thing?
No, it's a school. I started off going to Lincoln High School, and then I got into a fight over graffiti, and then they were like, we're going to give you a chance. We should kick you out because you're the one that's been tagging all over the place and you just got in a fight. But we're going to give you a chance to go to this program where they take you overseas for a whole summer and they change your life. And I was like, fuck that. I'm not going to do it. And they're like, and then I came back from suspension and got into another fight. And then they're like, you got to go, bro. Like that was.
So you did it?
No, I didn't. I didn't. They're like, you got to get out of the school. Like, this ain't working. Like, we tried, bro, but like, you got to go. So I ended up going to a school called ISA in Potrero Hill, and yeah, that shit was not the most academically sound. It was a pretty manny school.
Did you ever get into skateboarding?
No, I never got into skateboarding. A lot of my friends though.
Because around that time, skateboarding was being birthed. Like they were making tricks on Embarcadero. Like it was very legendary things going on.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever dabble in that culture? I feel like they kind of all go hand in hand.
It's all hand in hand. So yeah, I never dabbled in it myself, but my friends were skaters, and I kind of got to read Thrasher at their house or watch the skate videos or go smoke at Pier 7, and then they'd be like, oh, that's so and so, that's this, that's that. I'm like, all right, cool.
So yeah, like growing up during high school and stuff, you would be kind of all over the city?
I was all over. That's the thing. I got exposed to all of it. So the good, the bad, and the ugly. But then the culture, this is why I do the history debate shit now, because I just saw it all. I saw the graffiti. I saw the rap music. I saw the skating. I saw the sports. This is when the 49ers was killing it. It was dynasty. Everything. Everything was just all different cultures, Mexican, black, Filipino, skating, all this fashion, all this shit is just like, you gotta imagine being a kid and just hopping on a bus and you could just go see some shit like
the
this.
The Bay, especially the city, like it's magical energy. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like, just how the houses are built, how they look, like it's just so much culture that I feel like just gets kind of, I feel like it don't really get their credit as much, like, or currently, like,
it just ain't been a spotlight on it, and that's why I'm like, that's why I push so hard for the Bay the way I do, because I feel like we gotta tell our own story. We gotta show the world how cool this shit is. They did that in LA with the lowriders and the khakis and the Chuck. They've been showed that New York. They've been, about every borough in New York, even if you've never been there, because they represent it so well.
So what do you think it is about the Bay that like people miss? Like why do you think because it's like, it's very innovative. There's a lot of new things that are birthed here. Like there is money. You know what I'm saying? Like what do you can you pinpoint it to something?
Yeah. I mean, it's a lack of industry.
Infrastructure,
industry. The money is segregated. So there's always been a tale of two cities with San Francisco. The shit I'm describing, somebody on the other side of town probably has no idea. They might have that whole Nob Hill type of lifestyle. And that is what you see when you think it. That's why people would be like, you're from San Francisco. There's no hoods in San Francisco, because all you see is the cable car. So that's all that's being represented. Whereas like LA, New York, all the entertainment studios are there, Broadway theater. How many movies been shot in New York City? You know what I'm saying? How many movies been shot in San Francisco? Right? Like even if like Ant-Man or something like that, that's not a Frisco movie. They just use Frisco backdrops. They don't tell the story of the city in those neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? So Yeah, that's really all it is. We haven't told our own story enough. That's what I feel.
All right, so fast forwarding a little bit, right? Like, what made you want to start the History of the Bay podcast? Because before you were rapping,
Yeah.
and were you still doing graffiti?
I paint, but I'm retired from illegal graffiti. Yeah, I'm too publicly known. I didn't see my name pop up in too many investigative materials to where I'm like, they know who I am. I have stuff on my record. I don't want any more of that. So I paint. Like I'll show kids how to paint. I paint when someone got a spot or something like that, or when I feel like it. But I was mostly focused on the rhyme, and then I was doing my law school thing and did my lawyer thing, and then the History of the Bay kind of came out of nowhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I was just pretty curious on like being a music artist, right? And having this idea to create this platform. Like I feel like if I'm a musician, right, I'm looking at it like, yeah, let me create my own platform or something that can be some sort of pedestal or place for other artists, because then I'm gonna be able to network, and you know what I'm saying? When I own the platform, it's gonna work out. Like, you ever think about dropping music? I feel like, when was the last time you dropped music? 3 years ago?
I dropped the EP. I dropped the EP last year. I dropped the album the year I started doing History of the Bay. I did an album called Sucker Repellent. But I haven't had like a big solo. I did mostly collaborations with producers, like quick projects. But I haven't. I've been in the lab just waiting till I got something that I really want to put the muscle behind. Because the thing about doing the rapping is like I did quite well, like on some super underground shit. Like I've been having fans, like actual fans, like people I don't know coming up to me. Oh my God, Dregs One. Like I'm talking since I was a teenager. It's just very on the low.
From the music.
From the music, yeah. From before I even had shit out, just for being known for freestyling with my crew, going to house parties, just having that reputation in the city. My first units I sold in Japan. I went to Japan my first time doing a show out there. They singing my lyrics.
Fire.
I've been in different places. I've been in New York, and people are like, "Oh, it's you." So it's just very on the low, just very underground.
Yeah. Why does Drake follow you?
Why does Drake follow me? You'd have to ask him.
You never met him?
Nah.
How long has he been following you for?
A couple years.
So what do you think? Do you have any idea? Was it the content, or was it like?
Yeah, it was probably content.
Like the History of the Bay stuff that you've been doing?
Yeah, I didn't notice that he did it until someone was like, "This nigga don't even follow Drake." I was just like, "What? What are you talking about?" And then I went to go check. And I was like, "Oh shit, he follows me. All right, tight."
Yeah, I see that. I'm just like, what the fuck is Drake following Dregs One? Like, there's got to be some crazy link. I'm like, were you at the Motto video shoot? Or like, what the fuck?
Nah, I think he just saw the He fucks with the Bay, bro.
Definitely.
That's what like a lot of people don't understand. Like he fucks with the Bay. He's a real music head. You know what I'm saying? Like I just see based on some of the posts that I've thrown up that he's engaged with. I'm like, oh, he fucks with hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And he's always, everybody knows he keeps his ear to the underground. So yeah.
That's tight. Any other like people that started fucking with you that you were kind of surprised about, or that were just like reached out and be like, yo, I'm fucking with your shit?
Nobody like too crazy, like on a celebrity level. Just very many artists and different mediums that I highly respect. Actors and painters, musicians of all different genres, stand-up comedians. Yeah.
So what do you like doing the most right now? Is it rapping, graffiti, or being a podcast host?
All the above. All the above, brother.
They're all the same?
Man, you know who's the best creator in the world?
The one who, yourself?
God Almighty.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
God Almighty is the best creator, bro. So God made me in his image, bro. So that's what I do. I just create.
So how has this transition been? Because I've been trying to do the podcasting thing for a while now. And, you know, I feel like we speak the same language. We've gone through the same trials and tribulations. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just like, whether it's trying to book a guest, whether it's dealing with egos. Like,
oh, for sure. Ooh-wee.
Like, because I feel like if you're gonna be an interviewer, you can't have an ego. You know what I'm saying? In terms of just like, look, there's gonna be those days where your guest is 30 minutes to an hour late, and maybe you cancel it, but then also too, maybe you just take it on the chin and just it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's kind of something you got to get used to an extent, right? I mean, obviously, if someone's being disrespectful, then you could call stuff. But I was just curious, like, what are some things you've had to deal with? Like people not wanting to sit down and talk to you?
Yeah. There's a couple of people that are not. I'm probably never gonna have on the podcast either because they don't want them on or I don't want them on. I don't fuck with everybody, just to be perfectly fair. There's some people I never want to deal with again. I kept it professional. I always keep it professional. Like, I'm not going to say their names. I'm not going to go slander them. I'm not going to confront them. But some people are fucking weird, bro. Some people are weird. Some of these people are very damaged. You don't understand that. Like from the outside looking in, they're told that the drugs, the success, all this shit, even the shit you came from before, motherfuckers is coming off the block or whatever the fuck they've been through, they bring that into their business. I am very selective to a degree. Like, I don't like weird people, bro. Like, I don't give a fuck how many fans you got. Like, I learned this the hard way. Man, there's some names I can name now. I'm like, you think he's dope? You think he's a gangster? You think he's tough? You think he's a ladies' man? He's a punk. You know what I'm saying? You think he's sick? He's a weirdo, bro.
And look, like being like an interviewer or hosting a podcast, it's kind of like we kind of get rewarded for that name dropping shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I think it's kind of a balance, right? Where it's like, you know, it's a time and place for everything. I kind of am more on your wave too, where it's like, looking, I'm not here to be negative, but also too, it's like there's some real life shit that goes on behind the scenes, and you're just like, damn, why is he such a prick?
Yeah, no, that's the question. Why are you like this? That's all it comes down to. Why, bro? Like, there's people I haven't even met yet. They just shoot themselves in the foot off a DM. Like, it's weird. The fuck you thought this was a good idea to send this to me, and I don't ever respond. I don't go for that. I don't do the subliminal. I've had to call a couple people out every now and then, like, bro, what's the issue? What's the subliminal? I don't do that. I don't do this whole social media weird shit. And I think especially with my platform, because it's called The History of the Bay, or because it just, people think it got a lot of attention or whatever the fuck it was, what I deal with a lot is people feeling butthurt that they're not included. And 9 times out of 10, it'd be someone I would love to include or someone I was planning on including, and then they act up, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, no, I don't want to deal with you.
Yeah, man, the game is tricky. You know what I'm saying? You've had like people trying to get you edited out and stuff like that. Like, how do you handle that protocol?
Not too much editing out. For the most part, it's like, yeah, if you want it out, it's cool. But like sometimes it's just random shit. Like, bro, nobody's thinking about this. Like, edit out this one part where I said, it's like nobody cares about that, bro. You're good.
Yeah.
But no, I never had no. I've edited some shit that I said out, like, because I don't ever want to use my platform to like tear other people down or like talk shit about somebody or anything like that.
I feel that. Would you ever pay for interviews?
To get somebody on? Sure. I've slid one time, 1 or 2 people were like, "Wait, bro, come on, bro. You know, I need, a little something." I've charged people for interviews too, so yeah, I get it.
Because you're basically learning the game by yourself, right? Like or did you have anyone to kind of help you in this journey?
Nah, man. I mean, it's like the thing about podcasting is a really cool art form, bro. Like, I just studied the art form. That's the man. I try not to call them interviews anymore. It's conversations. I don't consider myself a journalist. You know, a podcast is somebody saying whatever they feel on a microphone, and the more on a certain subject you make it, the better. So in terms of the game, mostly I just learn from what I see. Like, okay, what works? Consistency, nice sound, nice cameras,
Because there's a lot of bullshit podcasts, though.
There's a lot of people who think all this is just, oh, yeah, man, we had great conversations, man. You know, when we talk about sports, you know, we should just start a podcast. Yeah. And it's like, bro, it's not that simple.
Yeah. What, did you have any other names for it?
Nah.
It was always History of the Bay?
Yeah, see, the whole thing, it just started with these TikToks. Like, that whole shit just started with me being like, what? I'm doing this music shit. It's doing cool. I'm doing shows. I'm working with some really cool artists. I'm selling some records. I'm making some money. Mm-hmm. But it's not like social media wise and just the reach, it just wasn't getting there. So I'm like, what works? Go on TikTok. All right. Look on TikTok. See how does this fucking shit work?
Yeah.
What do people do on here? And then people just talk about what they like. I like graffiti. I like Bay Area rap that some people might not know about this shit, but the people who do love it. So I just started talking about, so I would just say like history of San Francisco graffiti, history of Bay Area rap.
I love the It's It one.
History, It's It. Yeah, I just started doing shit like that and it picked up. And then I did want to start a podcast at some point just because I like the gift of conversation. But then I was like, ooh, I know a lot of these people. I know RBO. I know Cats from Souls of Mischief. I know hella graffiti writers. Like this, I could just hit them up. And then from doing like the content, even more people started like tapping in with me. So I'm like, oh, I just DM them. You know what I'm saying? So I had access to all these people. So I was like, let me get them to tell their story instead of me making the videos, which I'm doing a lot less of.
Yeah, because that's like, there's plenty of obstacles when creating a podcast, right? Whether it's technical stuff, getting equipment, getting location. But one thing, especially when you're interviewing artists, it's like having those relationships to have someone be able to come and sit down for 2 hours and really just share their story. Like that's probably the hardest piece, is having that network. And you would say graffiti was the one that kind of helped that, or was it the music as well?
The music as well, yeah, because I've been doing it for long enough. I knew a lot of the big dogs, or through one connection or another. Graffiti for sure, definitely had a lot of connections there. But yeah, it is very challenging to book people. I think the other thing is though is like, man, you got to show and prove. Like, shout out to everybody who's trying, you know what I'm saying? Because even that is like, salute, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Try your best, bro. Don't matter if this shit get 500 likes or, 500,000. That shit don't matter. Fuck the views, fuck all that. But at a certain point, you do gotta perform. You gotta produce. So I get people hitting me up now. Like, yo, let me come when can we do it? And some of it's like some very reputable A-list people in the Bay.
Yeah, you've gotten some really good interviews where I'm just like, wow, this is like some legendary content that I feel like people are definitely sleeping on.
Yeah, and that's all good, but it's like the clips go crazy. I'm in the easily millions.
Yeah.
Like damn near monthly millions, like just off the clips. So that is like people are like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, this is why it's worth coming on here, because this shit gets traction. You know what I mean? And then it's a quality over quantity thing. Like, yeah, maybe some of my interviews are like 10,000 views or less, but they're all very good conversations.
Yeah, that's how I look at it too. Like when I say slept on, I'm speaking solely in terms of like YouTube.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's true, where it's like, yeah, it may have 10,000 views on YouTube, but I cut it down to 7 different clips, and 3 of them hit 500,000 to 1 million. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I forget about that. I feel like I lack on the clips sometimes, to be real, but I'm starting to really try to have a whole rollout, because these interviews are rollouts.
You gotta push. This is what I learned from music. You gotta push. It's a big problem right now. I don't know if you know this. We here at Empire, a lot of people is having problems pushing their product, because for whatever reason, somebody at some point thought all you got to do is post it. Mm. And for some people that works. Yes, that goes up, but it would go a lot further if you push the shit, because I said it before, when people see you're serious, like, oh, he's really trying to push this shit, then they get invested. If you're just like, yeah, go check it out if you want to, like, maybe I will, maybe I won't. So with the podcast, this is all bro. Everything I do is like, this is a business. Mine's like, this is a product, bro. I own a company. This is what we sell. We have to sell the product, bro.
Yeah.
A podcast episode is a valuable entity for me. A song is valuable, like, because the more, even if it's just a few people, the more people that press click translates into sales, subscribers, which translates into future sales. So it's like, I can't afford to just drop something and then that's that. Like,
I feel like the culture sometimes just looks at that as like try hard or being like, you know, like too, like you're giving a fuck too much. And I feel like that is shifting. That mentality is shifting. And I feel like that's sometimes what holds the Bay back, is that too cool for school mentality. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just like, man, I seen Tyler the Creator say some shit where it's like, I see artists do one music video and promote it one time during 1 week and they never talk about it ever again. And he's just like, I've been promoting this music video I've been doing for the last three months or whatever it was. He's like, you just got to put yourself out there.
You have to. I mean, and thinking what you just said, like how fucked up are we where trying hard is a bad thing?
I know.
Being thirsty, that's one thing. But trying hard, like the other thing, like maybe I'm just aging myself, but like, bro, when I first started making music, we were doing CDs, bro. Them things don't sell themselves. And also, like, I'm seeing like legends. I'm seeing legends passing out flyers, bro. Like Bay Area legends, like, check me out. I seen Gold Toes with the 17 with a Thiz van wrapped, going to high schools and city college. I done been to in-stores with Barry Rap Burner and Jay Stalin back in the day when they had like 5 people in line sitting in the Best Buy signing CDs.
Yeah, because it is the land of the independent grind as well.
Bro, you had to do this shit. And even if it wasn't independent, what you think the majors is doing? They paying street teams. They're pushing it for you. You know what I'm saying? So like this shit has to be pushed, bro. And it is. It's holding a lot. When I talk to some of these youngsters too, like the younger artists, I kind of realized like, oh, you just went viral, and it just went up. But that era is like, it's kind of over, bro. Like, it's not over. Like, you can still go viral, but once you do go viral, it's like you're not gonna keep going viral.
You gotta have some catalog. You gotta figure it out.
You gotta figure it the fuck out, bro. And you gotta go and sell some tickets. And you gotta go. These people will do shows in the same cities, the same markets. It's like, because they know that's where they're comfortable. Go haul ass to Wyoming, bro, and see what you can do out there. You feel me? Because that's the game I saw too. Is like, motherfuckers was campaigning. You gotta go campaign, bro. Like, you're not gonna sell out every single room. But if you go campaign out there and then come back in 6 months to a year later, it's gonna be bigger. And if you keep doing that, you'll tour for the rest of your life.
Facts. So when you were making music, you were like, how did you get into that game?
Shit. So the day I started doing graffiti is also when I decided to try rapping. So I went to I've told the story before, but I'll tell it again. I got my first marker like the day after that whole Robo story.
Yeah.
I got my first marker, and then I'm in homeroom with my boy Mike Ill, and I'm like, check it out, bud. And I had the marker, and he was like, oh, it's like, you know, one of them big ass Magnum markers. And I was like, I'm about to be a tagger. And he's like, all right, me too. Let's go. And then after school, went tagging, went to his house. He was a DJ, and he had 2 Technics 1200 turntables, and he was scratching. He had hella wax. He had DJ Qbert wax and shit. I'm like, whoa, this is like from here. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of clicked, like, oh, you can be like, you can rap. Like, you know what I'm saying? So and then I got with other friends and we just started freestyling. We had a tagging crew called GMC, super toy. We never did nothing in graffiti, but that was just what we were known as. And then we started freestyling at house parties. But the house parties was like concerts. Like, the people were just loving it. Like, it was like a concert. And so anytime we showed up, they're like, oh, you guys gonna rap? Da-da-da. That's what I'm saying. Like, I had that first. I had people literally like, I'm a fan. So that's how it started. And then we went to like the Sunset Youth Center, recorded our first song in the studio. And then as soon as we got to the car and played it, like the little kids I was out there was like, oh, this is tight. And then we knew we had some, and then any means necessary, just assembled little home studios, acquired some equipment. I was hella early on the internet, like seeing like, oh, just give this shit away for free. People was like, what? I'm like, trust me, bro. Just
on where?
Media Fire and shit like that, or whatever
You're
it was.
just dropping zip files, huh?
yeah, no, for real. So I was like doing that, and then passing out burned CDs, and then my boy Glider, he was like a year or two younger than us. He was like a fan. He was like, oh, you guys are the dopest. Like, I want to help. I'm like, oh, you're our manager. His dad gave us a $5,000 loan. We opened up a studio on Geary Boulevard right across from Mel's Drive-In.
Wow.
And we started charging for studio time. And we started a corporation. We put out our first CD through CD Baby. And we was hitting up Amoeba, Rasputin's. There was a store called Frisco Street Show. We was up in there doing the thing, grinding CDs on Haight Street. And then we met cats like Burner and Gold Toes. I met them back in the day.
Yeah, it was like, what year was this like?
06, 07.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was like right after the hyphy movement. Our very first show, we opened up a super hyphy 19 or something like that. Phoenix Theater and Petalumas, like Nickatina, Yuckmouth, The Jacka, San Quinn, and Drew Down, and Big Rich. That was our very first show.
Wow. Some legends.
Yeah, so we were just hella young, bro. Like, and that's basically where it started. And then I was doing solo projects. I was doing collaboration projects. I was making beats. I was more on some hip hop shit. I mean, I was doing like Bay Area like style, like mobby type shit. I would make beats, but I was like even to this day, my love is like hip hop, like samples, and,
like boom bap type vibe.
Yeah, I guess you could say that, like classic sound and shit. That shit gives me that feeling. So I was kind of going in that direction, and then I was always like in and out of like school. By then I went to City College. I'm like thinking like, this rap shit probably ain't gonna work. And, you know, I started working with kids, and then I was in hella different kids programs. I'm teaching them how to make music, shit like that. And yeah, bro. And then, but then eventually, yeah, I was like, man, this shit ain't really gonna work.
You were making some money off the music?
I was like paying bills. You know
Getting
what I'm
by.
saying? Yeah, it was like, cool, pay the phone bills, like sell some CDs, buy some weed. You know what I'm saying? Like do a show, pay half my car note.
You were going outside selling CDs like hand to hand?
Bro, I was making racks.
Really?
Yeah.
Where though? Like on the tour, like the tourist spots?
Powell Street, Haight Street. I would go to shows before I could even get in. I couldn't even get in. I'd just stand outside with a bag of CDs, and I wouldn't leave until they were gone.
How much were you selling them for?
$10 a pop. Damn. So, you know, for that age, that's pretty good. You know
Hell yeah, selling your art.
Yeah. And then the studio rent was $500 a month. I'm splitting that with 5 people, $100. I'm selling studio time, $20 an hour.
And it's making you money too, right? So it's like
it's making enough to, you know.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing the 9 to 5. And I'm working the after school program.
Hustling.
But I just didn't understand the game, and I didn't have enough confidence. Like, you really got to go all in with this shit. You know,
confidence is a big thing though too.
It is.
Like, I don't think like being an artist and not having confidence is kind of one of the most like detrimental things to just a creative, you know what I'm saying? Where it's just like overthinking and shit. It could really kind of cripple your art and just your whole like motivation. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit's fucked up.
Yeah. And it makes those L's a lot harder. Like, fuck.
Yeah, the bounce back is definitely harder.
I just spent all this money on this video and this shit ain't getting no views. How come he got booked for the show? I ain't getting booked for the show. My fucking hard drive crashed. I lost the album. Like, all these things become L's, and then you're getting older, not realizing you're still young as fuck. I'm 37 now. I look back like I was hella young. What the fuck was I tripping off of? You know what I'm saying? I still feel young, even though I know I'm not in rap years.
It's kind of like a mentality, too, where it's just like, bro, age, you get older, but it's all up here. And really your body, like, you got to just stay active, really.
That's real talk, too. You got to keep your mind, your body active, but at the same, bro, the youngsters love me, bro.
Yeah.
They fuck with me, bro. I don't gone to Target and had kids like, I'm talking 14 years old, like, let me take a picture. Man, ain't too many cats my age connecting with these young dudes. Yeah. So it's not about how old you are, it's about how dope you are, what you do, bro. But like I said, you have to go all in. Like, if I could turn back the hands of time, I would have said, fuck a job right now, fuck college. I'm making some money off music. How do I make more? How do I make enough to do this? How do I get to this? How do I get to that? But I was like, I better have a job.
The safe route, the safety net.
And then also I believed in what I was doing with the kids, you know what I'm saying? So that's also what drove me to go back to school. I tried going to school, dropped out, finally got a degree. And then when I got my degree, I had mentors who were like, you could do this. You could go to grad school. You could go to law school. You could do all this. So I went to law school thinking I was going to like be like a lawyer for the people and like sue
like
these.
pro bono type things? Or?
Nah, like I wanted to like sue the city and, you know what I'm saying, like the police and shit like that, which I did get involved to a certain degree, but then I realized like, oh, money is kind of nice, having money for the first time in my life. And then I used that to fund my music, and that helped me step my music. Like right when I was like, I'm done rapping, I'm gonna do this lawyer shit, my music started picking up more than ever. I got with Andre Nickatina. I made a song called Fog Mode. That shit started getting pretty popular. Nickatina took me on tour for a few shows.
Wow.
Started rocking with him for a hot second. And that's when I really had a battery in my back. Like, nah, fuck that. Fuck a job. I've been working my whole life since I was 15 years old. Like, fuck a job. And yeah, so now it's been about 3 years.
Really?
Nonstop, but just.
And you quit being a lawyer, practicing law? Or?
Yeah. I just didn't like it. I didn't like the system of law.
But that's how you were making money though? Like
yeah, by that point, like I was making money to pay for the music, like studio time cover, like I said, do a show, do this, do that. But I was making more money than most rappers.
Yeah.
As a lawyer, I was working for one of the top law firms in the world.
Is that okay? Yeah, because I was curious, like, what's the decision behind having the Amy Fong on the pod?
Ann Fong?
Or is it Ann?
Ann Fong.
Excuse me. Like, I just felt like that was so random, but it did super well, and I've seen her billboards all over.
Yeah. Hell yeah. She's dope as fuck. She's a boss.
But damn, so hold on, we got to rewind. What's your relationship like with Andre Nickatina?
He's cool. He's I mean, shit, man. It's like the first Frisco rapper I heard of.
Yeah.
He gave me a lot of game. I will say he gave me a lot of game in terms of like how to really hustle. Like you see where he's at in terms of like his stature as an artist it's grown. He hasn't fallen off in that sense. He's serious about his business. So yeah, he gave me a lot of game. I really appreciate it. He put me on some pretty dope shows. He did a lot of cool things for me, bro, that I really appreciate. And yeah, it was cool.
Have you reached out for that interview yet?
He's not into interviews.
I know.
I have an interview that I did of him that's super dope that the world will probably never see. It was for a project that didn't end up coming out, and he didn't want that being reused. Damn. And I haven't talked to him in a while, but I'm assuming he's just doing his thing. And
yeah, he's a very like mythical, mystic creature, like where it's just like
he just doesn't like being in the spotlight, you know what I'm saying? And I respect it. It keeps the air of mystery, like you said, about him to where people want to, invest in finding more. But like, Rap Cat, he's a serious Rap Cat. He knows the hustle. All this shit I'm talking about, putting the posters up and this is what we do. It's Frisco shit, you know what I'm saying? That's how we really connected too, just on some straight up Frisco shit. But yeah, I haven't talked to him in a minute. As far as doing like the interview or anything like that, I don't know. Never say never.
Are you reaching out to artists and trying to get people on the pod, or how does that?
A lot of times it goes as simple as like, what do I feel like doing right now? Like, it's like deciding who you want to listen to in the morning. Like, go through them, throw on this, throw on that. I still need to grow the platform to where I can have on damn near anybody and it'll do well just on the strength of the platform. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
like
it's hard. That's hard.
It's hard, yeah.
Super
it's like
hard.
For example, like a Joe Rogan, right? Like that dude will have some scientist, but it'll still get millions of views just because people know his podcast is what it is. So sometimes people get at me like, oh, I gotta tell my story. I'm like, bro.
So you're giving the curveballs?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be like, bro, like I can't. it's just not gonna do what you think it's gonna do for you.
Yeah.
It's not gonna help either of us because the podcast is just not there. So I have to feed my audience, and sometimes I experiment, or sometimes I'm like, I don't give a fuck what they like. This is what I want to do. And sometimes the shit I expect to do the best does the worst, and sometimes the shit I expect to do the least does the best.
I feel that. Who's on some like, I really want to have this person on the pod? Do you have any names in mind?
I mean, eventually I gotta sit down with like Too Short and E40. I don't think that's too unattainable.
Yeah, I don't.
Twist on the graffiti side. But I hear he's like kind of shy about interviews as well. Yeah, Saphir from Hobo Junction. I gotta get Saphir on there.
It would be cool to get Neckface on too.
Neckface, hell yeah.
Because I know he did a lot of artwork for Thrasher. He's from Stockton, I'm pretty sure, right?
I don't know, is he?
Yeah, I think he's originally from Stockton, but I initially found his art through Thrasher.
Yeah, shout out to Thrasher. I fuck with Thrasher, man. All the skater community shows me hella love.
Yeah, I seen the tour you did at their headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you even set that up? I'm like, how does this dude get this access to Thrasher? This is some city connection.
Man, I just get a lot of love, bro. I get a lot of love, bro. Like, they reached out to me, bro. Like,
that's fire.
Can you do a video on us? I was like, I'll do you one better. Let me come and sit down and fuck with y'all. And then I said, hey, no pressure. If it's cool, though, can you throw me in the magazine? And they said, sure. Wow. So they did an interview that got published last December, I believe.
Oh, that's legendary.
Man, come on, bro. I'm in motherfucking Thrasher, bro. There's just certain shits like this.
No, pop your shit. This is the time to pop it, man, because you're always on the other end of the interview, so it's good to have you on, so I could really get to the bottom of all this shit.
I appreciate you giving me the platform, man. Yeah, because, I got a lot of stories I could tell, but it's like, bro, just on this Frisco shit, bro, like, I get a lot of love out here, bro. Like, I just get a lot of love and respect from people who are very respectable, bro. Mm. You know what I'm saying? So, like, man, I done been back in the back of Mitchell's Ice Cream and seeing how they make the ice cream off the strength of this type of shit. It's just, like, ill, bro. Like, man, I'll just go ahead and say it, bro. We about to have Muni sponsor this event, bro. Like,
Muni?
Yeah, bro. It's just
from tagging the Muni to them sponsoring it. That's a full circle moment.
I'm just saying, bro. Like, this shit is just very powerful, bro. I done collaborate with the public library. Like, just hella, like, all my favorite rappers from the city. Like, it's all love, bro. Like, I've been blessed. This is just what I'm saying. Like, this whole crazy journey that we just gone through, like my childhood to school to rapping, graffiti to podcasting. You just do the things you love, bro. Mm-hmm. I fell in love with this shit at 14, bro, and I've been true to it ever since. And it just takes me to all these cool places.
Yeah, I really respect you just trying to find a way and putting yourself out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, when it comes to this content creation, that's the hardest part, is that first step of just getting the mics, trying to film your first one, posting it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the hardest part, because then you're going to see, all right, do I want to do this again? And if you really fuck with it, you'll keep doing it.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. And it's good you said that, because, when I was telling you, like, I was trying to build this platform, bro, I went and bought lights. I bought a little ring light. I bought a little microphone. I was like, let me take this shit seriously. And I'm definitely not afraid to invest in myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do I got to lose? Yeah. I done been at the bottom of this. I've been in, so I always had like something going for me to be like, all right, I must be dope enough that some motherfucker out there wants to buy my record. You know what I'm saying? But I've been like at the lower tiers of this shit, scraping by, trying to fight for everything. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not afraid of that. I have much more to grow. Like, the shit I'm doing now is cool. I love it, but I am by no means complacent. I have so much more work to do. I get up at 4:30 every morning. I work every motherfucking day. Yeah. I take maybe one day off a week. You know what I'm saying?
And you're just full time, like just making stuff.
Making stuff and busting plays and writing emails and doing shit like this and trying to make some moves and talking to sponsors and. Yeah,
and that's one thing I did want to pick your brain about. I feel like in this podcast game, monetizing your content is is a obstacle like people have to try to figure out.
Yeah.
You've had, I feel like, steady sponsors just like from the jump, it seemed like.
From the jump.
You know, like whether it was like you got the Amoeba poster in the bag.
Amoeba was the very first people that reached out, yeah.
So I'm just like, can you share some sort of game on like how you go about it, or like, you know, like pitch these people?
That's a great question. The very first thing is you have to bring value to the table. So some people get sponsorship on either side, the sponsor or the sponsee. They think it's just like, oh, can I get some money? Nah, you are providing value. These are your partners, bro. So like, what value can I bring? Like, just for example, like clothes. I don't buy clothes anymore because people send me dope ass shit. Why? Because they know I'm going to wear it. I'm going to shout them out. What I'm doing is a good fit for their brand. So it's like, that's part of it too. You know, there's certain sponsors wouldn't necessarily be a good fit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like,
you got to make it make sense.
You got to make it make sense. So just align with people who are doing so we're in the same space. And in terms of reaching out to them, just be very clear. Like, bro, I'm trying to provide you with something. And some people, some companies, small businesses, they're not sophisticated in their marketing enough to understand the value of that. And that's cool. On to the next. You know what I'm saying? But so
are you like emailing them or like going in person?
Man, any means necessary. If I want it, I gotta get it. I gotta pull up. I gotta DM you. I gotta have my homegirl DM you. I gotta have my friend, yo, you know anybody? I gotta put up a tweet. Yo, if you know anybody at such and such, you know, tell them to holler at me.
That's tight. That's tight.
Any means necessary. I think that's it. Like once you and then you have to approach them like that, like, yo, we need to be in business together. You don't understand. Your audience, my audience fucks with you. My audience wants to know more about what you're doing. So that's really what it is. Once you're clear on that, and here's what I'll deliver you. And in terms of like the pricing, is like sometimes you gotta be flexible. I didn't take in sponsorship opportunities where it's more like a favor for a favor type of thing.
Yeah.
That's cool. No problem. You know what I'm saying? And then some I'm like, no, you gotta break mine off. I have to provide. I have people depending on me. They need to be fed. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving you, this will generate sales.
So you're negotiating. You know, you have an offer, they have an offer, you're kind of finding somewhere.
Yeah.
That's a part of the game.
Typically, I mean, it's always annoying when somebody doesn't know how to negotiate, right? You give them a price. You've done this before, Cameron. Yeah, my price is such and such. Yeah, I'll call you back. It's like, bro.
Or the DM. I usually get the DM. Yo, I'm trying to work.
Yeah.
All right, what's your budget?
Yeah. You know, some people, it's like they hear a number and then they go running for the hills. It's like, hey, man, if this don't work, what works? And sometimes I'll do that. Yo, I didn't hear back from you. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's all negotiation. You got to know the pitch. This shit is like, bro, this shit is serious, bro. That's one thing, like, again, like when we talked about Nickatina, it's like, I'm like, oh, this dude's not playing. Like, this dude is fucking serious about this rap shit. And then I know a lot of rappers who've been rapping for as long as he has that you would know just as well as him, but they are not serious about it. So that's why I look at everything like, yeah, I don't play about this YouTube. I mean, sometimes I miss a week of my podcast. I'm like, fuck. You know what I'm saying? I got to feed these people what they want. I got to be on top of this shit. I just can't play about it, bro.
Yeah, because in the podcast game, no one really talks about, like, year 2 and 3 are pretty hard in terms of keeping that audience fed. Like, if you're really trying to drop one a week, especially when you're doing interviews, you know how many people you got to book?
Yeah.
And you know how hard you could always invite the same guest back, but even that is a whole different style interview. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many, like, little tricks and, you know, things that I feel like people don't really think about.
It's very difficult, bro. And a lot of people I see starting podcasts, and I'm like, man, if you don't have the patience to do this every week for a year at least, and even still possibly not get any serious viewership, then just don't start it, dude.
I'm on like year 6, I think.
Great. Awesome, bro.
It takes a long time.
If you look at the most successful podcasts on YouTube right now, like a lot of stand-up comedians and shit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what are you watching?
I watch Bobby Lee. I watch this dude, Rick Glassman, is hella tight to me. I watch Cam and Mace. I'm all over the place.
Comedians are a cheat code when it comes to podcasting.
Because it's funny, right?
They're meant to podcast.
Yeah. But you know what they do? They promote each other.
Yeah.
If one of them got a stand-up special, they go to all their friends' podcasts, and vice versa. When they got then now they go into his podcast. So I think it needs to work like that more with, especially in the Bay Area, California, like hip hop based. Like I want to go on No Vultures. I want to go on Lil Blood eventually. I want to have them on my shit because, like, the comedians are really good at like introducing each other's fan bases to each other.
It's like on one end we all are kind of competition, but also too it's like I feel like in content you have to lean, like we could lean on each other for content because at the end of the day it's just a fucking video. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just like you're not missing out on anything by collaborating.
Not at all. You're only strengthening it because it's competition in the smallest sense of the word. It's competition in a business sense, as in if I'm selling bleach, who are my competitors? Tide and Clorox, right? That's business. But in terms of like competing, like I want to beat you or your failure is my success, that doesn't exist because if anything, what are we competing for? A couple hours in a day?
Yeah, and it's not even like, it's kind of like we're all competitors in the same sport, but we're not necessarily competing against each other. If that makes sense.
Yeah, we're not playing each other. I don't have to beat you to win.
Yeah. But we're just because really we're playing ourselves. Like we're trying to battle ourselves. It's like skateboarding. You know,
it's just a matter of getting the people out there watching this to be like, what am I going to watch today? Am I going to watch VBC or am I going to watch Dregs One? But here's the thing, bro. If you like both of them, you're going to watch both of them. You're not going to be like, sorry, I can't watch any more podcasts today. You're going to be like, nah, what else you got going on? Bro, the best thing for anyone to do with podcasts, look at your own habits on YouTube. I binge. I will watch mafia videos. I will watch fucking comic book videos. I will go down rabbit holes. And if I find somebody else that got a channel that I like, I'm finna tune in. So it's not no competition in that sense. And I feel like we missing out on opportunities by not doing more cross-promotion. That's why I appreciate you even you reached out to me a long time ago, so I appreciate you bringing me over here.
I've definitely been a fan. All right, so can we talk about this history of the Bay Day? So this is something that you're throwing?
Yes, sir.
And how does this even come about? Like this is like, what don't you do?
Oh man, it's a great question. What don't I do? Fail? But no, for this, basically event production, bro. Like last year we did the first annual one. Is that we had Keith the Sneak, Loonies, Nefta Farrell, San Quinn, Mac Mall, a couple other people. But it was basically like I wanted to create an in-person experience to complement what we do in the podcast. So basically allowing you to experience all these things like never before right in front of you. So there's a graffiti art gallery. There was live painting. There's going to be live art this year. There was a whole museum. We had like MC Hammer pants and Humpty Hump's glasses on display. There was vendors. And then, the performances just shocked it. So it was like super cracking.
Wow.
This year we just kind of increased the scope. We got it even larger. We got the entire venue. Last year we just had the patio, so there's going to be multiple rooms. We got a dance element. We're giving a Lifetime Achievement Award to Rappin' Forte.
Wow.
Man, there's so much going on. And then, of course, the lineup this year is nuts. We got Souls of Mischief, The Boy, Kamaya, Be Legit, Drew Down, and the Mob Figures doing a tribute to the Jacka. And then, I still rhyme. I got to promote myself just like anybody else, Trevor. So why wouldn't I perform in my own show?
Nah, that's sick. That is tight. So we're going to have a Dregs One performance.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's your rap name?
Yeah,
Dregs One?
Yeah, hell yeah. Mm-hmm.
Damn, that's so fire. Is it nerve-wracking trying to throw events in this climate?
No, not in the climate. It's more just like, this is a lot of work, bro. And shout out to our sponsors. We're sponsored by Weed Maps, Red Bull, Cuvano Leaf, and Fong Law.
Hell yeah.
Sorry, a few others I'm spacing on.
Muni
that we just locked in. You'll hear it here first.
So Muni is like the bus things, right, out here?
Yeah, it's the bus system.
The public transportation.
Yeah.
Damn. Like just that. It's just like you just got my respect, bro. It's like I never would have thought, hey, let me reach out to the transportation.
Appreciate it, man.
But it makes so much sense because how are people going to get there? You can take the Muni.
Exactly. And it's part of history debate because it's like there's cultural significance to it as well. Everybody grows up out here riding these buses. We all got stories. So it fits perfectly with the brand. These are the types, like, I don't want to do a concert. It's like an experience. I'm trying to do an experience. I'm trying to do like some Coachella Outside Lands type of shit. The music is a huge part of it, but it's more like I want people to feel the community, feel the history, see all this stuff going down in front of them.
Damn, so you're more excited
I'm
than
hella
anything?
excited, yeah, but it is a lot of work because it's like I'm trying to do things on a professional scale. Like,
it's a big scale, it seems like, to be
I'm
real.
trying to do a big scale. I'm trying to do it big, man. I got big dreams. I know people personally. I've been around rappers. It's like they're in the millions. They're millionaires. So I'm like, if they can do it, I can do it. You know what I'm saying? I might even be able to do it better. So I'm just trying to go for it. Like in the Bay Area, there's enough janky shit, bro. No more janky business. Like, why are we doing janky videos? Why are we doing janky events? Why are we doing janky merch, bro? Like, we got to compete with the big boys. So San Francisco does not have a hip hop music festival. You got the Dreamville Festival. You got Odd Future.
Camp Flogno.
Yeah.
Wow, I never even thought about that. So that's kind of the lane you're trying to.
Yes, this is
take over. This is that.
Yes, this is only the second year, but I'm over the next few years, this is going to be a flagship event, bro. People are hitting me up from France talking about I'm
about to fly out.
I'm about to fly out. New York, Ohio,
that's legendary.
Bakersfield, LA. And it will be worth the trip. Because this is gonna be some shit like, bro, this is certain shit.
I'm excited.
And you're gonna be there too.
I'm gonna be out there.
You're gonna be out there with the camera, making it do what it
do. Doing the damn thing.
Yeah.
October 19th.
Yeah.
2 to 8. Damn, I'm really excited. What do you think? Like, what are your thoughts on the current state of Bay Area hip hop?
That's a great question, and that's one I typically ask people. It's cool.
I feel like
it's cool, bro.
Like I feel like
it's all right.
Hip hop in general is kind of seeing a slowdown. It seems like
there's not very much. I'm motivated to like, I gotta go out and check that out. Oh, that just dropped. Oh, we lost a lot of the cohesiveness, the cohesion, and the stuff that I grew. Maybe I'm just old fashioned, but I just grew up on like Oakland, Richie Rich, Drew Down. Look, all together. Like, this is a unified thing. I'm from Frisco, bro. I grew up seeing, Lake Selsky is from my neighborhood. I grew up seeing him around. Selsky, San Quentin, Rappin' Forte, Nickatina. This was a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, now it's every man for themselves. Or like...
I mean, my generation, I feel like we had a nice little wave going when it was like the 2016, 2018 SOB.
RBE, come on, man.
Like that whole era was pretty magical.
Kamaya.
For sure. For sure.
Shit, I fuck with a lot of the newer dudes, they've been on my show. Shout out to 22nd Gym. Shout out to Prezi. Shout out to Lil Bean. But there's just something missing to where it's like, I want to see us moving to the point where people are really starting to pay attention. Like, yo, there's some shit going on in the Bay Area. And I think that's gonna, I don't know what it's gonna take to make that happen.
I mean, this is a good step in the right direction.
Thank you, brother. Hey man, all I can do is my thing. Like, I play this like this is my universe, right? Like I said, just like God is the creator, I'm the creator. I make my world as I see fit. I want to include this. I want to see that. I want some graffiti here. I think this artist dope. I want to see the people I booked. I'm like, I want to see them perform. Like, it wasn't like, they're gonna sell hella tickets. It's like, nah, I want to see Kamaya perform at my shit. I want to hear fucking Pimp of the Year. I've heard it before. You know what I'm saying? I want to see Drew Down, man. You know what I'm saying? I want to see the boy. You know what I'm saying? I just met him for the first time. He came to my podcast. Cool as fuck.
Yeah.
So and musically, right? Like, I don't care if people associate me with the podcast or the rap or the whatever, bro. It's all shit that I do. So all I can do is just kind of put my head down and just do it without being like, where do I stand in the Bay Area pecking order? Another problem with the Bay is like it's all cliquish, and everybody thinks their circle is the biggest thing going on, and it's all big fish in the small pond syndrome. It's like, bro, not enough people worldwide know who the fuck you people are, bro, to be thinking that you're this important, or to be thinking that y'all the only ones doing it, you're the only one holding, or how come they not talking about us? How come they did it? Man, I don't give a fuck, bro. I'm not into the politics. I'm not into any. I just keep my head down and I work. If I see something dope, salute. Any motherfucker representing the Bay makes me look good if they make the Bay look good. So I'm with all that, but in terms of like, the whole kumbaya, and then being in everybody's business, like I just can't. There's too much going on right now. There's too many artists. There's too many people popping up everywhere for me to keep track of it all. I just want to see, I'll end it here. I want to see the people that's making Bay Area shit, okay? If you're making shit that just sounds like Chicago or Detroit or Atlanta, like, that's cool, bro. Good luck, best of luck to you, but all that ill shit I talked to you about earlier, motherfucking Chinese people, Chinese gangs stabbing people and stolen cars and the fucking hippies and the Golden Gate Bridge at night and, rat tails and, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see all that shit represented. If your music doesn't represent that, I'm not as interested. You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel that. So would you have other artists, say from outside the Bay, be on History of the Bay? Or do you feel like it's kind of like, because I was curious about that name. Like, do you feel like it's kind of put you in a box, or?
No, it's just a name, bro.
So you could be History of New York.
I could have Drake on here and just talk about the Bay.
That's true too.
It's just one thing that we talk about.
So you're open to having more than just Bay Area artists?
Yeah, it'll come together at some point. Yeah. I just actually want to, for now though, I do want to just keep it for us, by us, because we don't have that. You know what I'm saying? I just want to have something like, what's our shit? All these stories, I want to create an archive to where people can watch 500 episodes and be like, all right, that's the Bay Area. And then maybe I'll open it up like to people from other regions too.
All right, before we wrap up, do you title your own videos? And are you posting and doing all that?
Bro, the amount of shit I do personally, hands-on, I edit my videos, brother. Oof. I do everything.
So what's the technique behind titling? Because I feel like as an interviewer, right, it's like there's morals when it comes to the clickbait.
Yeah.
Clickbait used to be seen as negative, but I kind of look at it like, nah, it's, there can be healthy clickbait. You could have like correct clickbait. Like, are you thinking of that when you're doing interviews, or?
Yeah, sometimes I've done some clickbait shit, I ain't gonna lie. But the thing is,
we got to though.
Sometimes, what the fuck? You're talking about this and you don't think I'm gonna draw attention to it because, other people want to know about it. But the thing is, when it comes to like a lot of shit like violence and stuff like that, you'd be surprised. People are less interested in that shit than you would realize. Obviously, if you're really going off and talking about somebody snitching or, some murder case you caught, or I don't know, that's fucking crazy. Let's talk about it. But
have you gotten calls of just like, hey, bro, that's a crazy title. Can you change that?
Nah.
I feel like the culture understands now. Like, everyone's kind of in on the content game.
I had one call from a fairly big name. He wasn't interviewed but he was discussed, and he asked to change the title and the thumbnail. Yeah.
Like on a clip?
Yeah. And we were like, all right. I mean, the dude's talking about you, but I feel you, bro. Like, hey, man.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't see. That's the thing. It's like, I think that's held me back, where I have tried to just not highlight the most interesting shit of the interview, just because I'm just like, people are gonna feel some type of way, but at the end of the day, man, fuck it. Everyone gets it now.
Yeah. Can I just say this though before we go? Like, in terms of what the YouTube streets think is the most interesting, like, murder is not the most interesting. Going to prison is easy. It's not the most interesting. Fucking hoes is not that fucking interesting. What's more interesting to people is succeeding, beating the odds, becoming a champion, believing in yourself, teaching other people to believe in yourself. It might sound corny, but trust me, bro, like people want to be inspired. The people who want to stay stuck in this world of drugs and sex and violence, I'm not interested in catering to them because I've seen all that shit go down. I don't need to relive that or force other people to relive that. Like we said before, the cameras was rolling, the low-hanging fruit. I could just put a fucking pair of titties on every fucking thumbnail.
Yeah.
Some people do that. You know what I'm saying? I could just put big booties. It might not even be talking about big booties, but you gonna click it. You know what I'm saying?
No,
I could put the guest's face and a bunch of question marks and exclamation points and a big ass booty. You know what I'm saying? But no,
that'd be some clickbait.
That would be clickbait. But I'd rather highlight intellectual, interesting, inspiring conversations, and I think you'll find that actually performs better.
It's I like to think of it as like kind of like timeless content, you know, where you can come back to it, you could come watch it whenever. Like you said, you're creating this, you know, archive of videos, so at any age people can go back for generations and really check it out. Like that's why I respect you, and that's kind of my ethos on creating content as well. You know, it's just like I want to sit down, watch podcasts, and I want to get motivated to go do something, whether it's be creative, make some money, or fucking do better. Yeah. And it does sound corny, but it is real. Yeah. You know, and it's I think it's the long route in this content game, but it will pay off.
Exactly, man. I mean, for what it's worth, I've seen a few of your podcasts. That you do a great job. You got some great guests. Just keep doing it. I'm gonna do the same thing, man. We all trying to accomplish the same thing, and just like you do this shit because you love it, obviously. So same thing with me, bro. And the moment I don't like it anymore, I don't give a fuck how profitable it is. I'm out. You know that's right. If I don't feel like doing it, I'm not gonna do it. But for right now, I just enjoy kicking conversation.
No, man, that's real as fuck. And I just want to say I appreciate you for coming on the pod. This is tight. I was, I've been a big fan, and I'm excited for
yes, sir.
History of the Bay Day.
History of the Bay Day, Maine.
Say that. All right, like, comment, subscribe, and catch some more episodes. Oh, also, but hold on, before we wrap up, why do you have the A's hat on?
Because it's the Bay.
Okay,
and
so you're not...
It matches the shirt.
Okay, so that's not like a thing?
Nah, kind of is, but I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna wear what the fuck I feel like, you know what I'm saying?
I feel it. I just went to the last... I went to the A's game on Friday. And man, I'm gonna miss the Coliseum.
Yeah, shit's shady. I shouldn't even be supporting them after that, but I just like the hat, bro. It's a classic hat. It's the original green and yellow. I'm not an A's fan. I'm a Giants fan for sure.
But that's just the fit.
Yeah, I'm just rock it today, man. I had to leave the house. I'm like, when am I gonna wear this thing, man?
I hope they come to SAC.
I thought they're going to Vegas.
I heard they were going to SAC for a couple years, like 2 years.
Oh yeah, they're gonna play at the River Cats Stadium.
Yeah.
That would be better than Vegas. Sacramento A's.
I would love that. Yeah, because I mean, you guys are losing too many sports teams to
Oakland,
to LA.
I mean,
Oakland.
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation, though, man. I don't know if they're ready for that conspiracy theory.
Hey, well, hopefully we'll see that clip online on TikTok. I need to see that one.
Probably so.
All right, y'all. We're out of here. Like, comment, subscribe.